Honestly,
WNBA
I'm
is facing
shocked
its
by
biggest
this
threat
news.
ever.
So
And
let me
this
set the
time,
stage for you
it's
guys.
not from
I'm at
fans or
PT. I'm
players,
rehabbing
but
my
from
knee, doing my
billions
dry
in Saudi
needling, my
money.
squats, my lifting, all this
Reports
stuff.
are
And I
exploding that a
get an
Saudi-backed league is
ESPN
trying to take
notification
over
come
women's
across my phone
basketball,
that says
luring
Neko
players with
Gumake becomes the
contracts
first player
WNBA
known
can't
to
even
join.
dream of matching. And when the commissioner was heard saying no more WNBA, it sounded less like a warning and more like a prophecy. The league is on edge, stars are panicking, and the future of women's basketball might be slipping away right now. Because this isn't just a game anymore, it's a full-blown power struggle for control of the sport. For years,
WNBA. It's a 5v5 league. It is backed by Saudi Arabian money. So essentially, a lot of money is backing this league. It's in Europe and Asia. The games will be played overseas for 14 weeks, and they want 66 players. And the very first one to be announced is NECA.
Angel Reese and Aja Wilson were pulling in millions of new fans. The league had momentum like never before. It felt unstoppable. But success can be a dangerous illusion. Behind the glowing headlines, cracks were already forming. Players were frustrated with low salaries, limited charter flights, and the league's strict media control. The new stars weren't afraid to speak out, and fans could sense the tension building. Then came the upcoming CBA deadline, a moment that could redefine the entire future of the league. Players were hinting at walking away if things didn't change, demanding the kind of pay and treatment that matched their influence. Meanwhile, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert tried to project calm, promising growth, expansion, and fairness, but those promises were starting to sound thin.
In an interview with the Associated Press, she said that the
the
compensation package was key to her signing with Project B. She said it's not something that's usually offered to us, and by us, I mean women athletes. So for there to be an entry level of equity across the board,
and all eyes are on Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, whose job was to stabilize the WNBA, but whose every word is now turning into fuel for the fire because players have had enough of the corporate smile and the empty promises, and they're starting to call her out in public for comments that felt tone-deaf and dismissive when she said athletes should be grateful for what they have. It ignited a storm. Napheesa Collier snapped back on social media. Aja Wilson hinted at a boycott, and Caitlin Clark herself backed the players, saying respect has to go both ways. For many fans, that was the moment the commissioner lost the locker room, and the media knew it, because headlines started to shift from celebrating growth to questioning leadership. League's image was cracking, and behind the scenes, agents and executives were already talking about what would happen if Engelbert couldn't hold the league together. But while America was focused on the drama between the commissioner and her players, a much bigger game was starting to play out far beyond U.S. borders, and it had nothing to do with locker room politics. It had to do with global money and the Saudi machine that was about to rewrite the rules of women's basketball forever. While the WNBA was fighting its internal battles, a new storm was already forming overseas, and this one could wipe out everything in its path. Reports began surfacing about a Saudi-backed project quietly building the most powerful women's basketball league the world has ever seen. Funded by billions from the Saudi Public Investment Fund, this Project B isn't just a business venture, it's a statement. Their goal? To take over women's basketball globally and steal the spotlight from the WNBA once and for all. The numbers being whispered behind closed doors are insane $100 million offers for superstars like Caitlin Clark, private jets, tax-free contracts, and world-class facilities that make WNBA locker rooms look like high school gyms. And for players who have spent years begging for better pay and treatment, this is a dream that's hard to turn down. The Saudis know exactly what they're doing, targeting frustration, offering luxury, and using money as the ultimate weapon. And here's the scary part. This league isn't planning to complement the WNBA, it's planning to replace it. With global tournaments, international media deals, and salaries beyond anything the U.S. can offer, the balance of power is shifting fast. The WNBA's biggest stars are now in the crosshairs, and the league's commissioner knows it. Because if even one major name defects, the domino effect could start, and once it does, there's no turning back. The takeover has already begun, and the WNBA might be running out of time. When the commissioner's words leaked out during a private meeting saying there might soon be no more WNBA, The reaction was instant shock across the sports world. Fans couldn't believe it, and players went silent because deep down, everyone knew she wasn't just being dramatic, she was being honest. The money gap, the global pressure, and the endless criticism were pushing the league to the edge. Insiders say Engelbert's tone wasn't angry. It was defeated. She was reportedly warning executives that if the Saudi-backed league launches before the next CBA is finalized, the WNBA could lose half its stars overnight. And that's not exaggeration, because the offers coming in from overseas are worth 10 or even 20 times what players make at home. Imagine a rookie earning 4 times her WNBA salary before she even plays her second season. That's the kind of leverage the Saudis are creating, and Engelbert knows she can't stop it by talking about loyalty or tradition, because loyalty doesn't pay the bills and tradition doesn't keep players from chasing generational wealth. What she said might have sounded like panic, but to some it was a reality check. The league has grown, but it's still fragile, and one major shock could bring it down in a heartbeat. And that shock might already be here, because the Saudis aren't waiting. They're recruiting coaches, agents, and even entire team staff behind the scenes to make sure when the switch flips, the WNBA won't have time to respond. And when fans heard that phrase, "no more WNBA," it stopped sounding like a warning and started sounding like a countdown. The balance of power in women's basketball has officially changed. And for the first time ever, it's not in the hands of the league, it's in the hands of the players. Because after years of fighting for fair pay, travel, and respect, the stars finally realized they hold the leverage, not the commissioner. Not the owners them, Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Angel Reese, Nafisa Collier. They've all become global icons whose value goes far beyond what the WNBA can offer. They sell out arenas, break streaming records, and dominate headlines. They are the product, and now the world knows it. Behind closed doors, agents are already fielding quiet calls from international scouts, offering guaranteed millions and complete creative control over branding and schedules. The Saudis aren't just trying to sign players, they're offering them power over their careers, something the WNBA has never been able to give. And that's the real threat, because once a player feels she doesn't need the league to succeed, that league starts to lose its soul. Some stars are already testing the waters, joining off-season tournaments abroad, while others are posting cryptic messages, hinting they're tired of fighting a system that doesn't value them enough. One insider even said if a single MVP-level name jumps ship, others will follow within weeks, creating a domino effect that no amount of PR spin can stop. And as this shift happens, the fans are torn. Do they stay loyal to the WNBA brand, or do they follow their favorite players to wherever the money and the freedom take them? Because deep down, everyone knows this isn't just a salary war, it's a power revolution. One where the athletes are finally calling the shots, and the commissioner is running out of time to pull them back before the league collapses under its own resistance. If the WNBA collapses, the ripple effect would be unlike anything women's sports has ever seen. Billions in sponsorships gone, overnight TV contracts, voided franchises dissolved, and hundreds of careers left in limbo. Imagine cities like Las Vegas, Chicago, and New York suddenly stripped of their teams. Fans would be furious, broadcasters would scramble, and every young girl who dreamed of making it to the WNBA would be left asking what's next. Insiders warn this isn't just about basketball, it's about the entire ecosystem of women's athletics. Because if the WNBA falls, it sends a message that even success can be bought out. The Saudis are using the same playbook that shook men's golf with LIV and football with Al Nassr, and it's working. They're not competing, they're absorbing the best talent until there's nothing left to compete against. And while the WNBA tries to maintain its dignity, the money difference is impossible to ignore. When a superstar can earn 10 years of WNBA salary in one foreign season, loyalty starts to look like a luxury no one can afford. But there's another layer to this story, because the Saudis aren't just targeting players, they're targeting the culture. They want ownership of women's basketball's future image and influence. And if they succeed, the sport could transform. Overnight glitzy arenas, luxury travel, massive paychecks, but with complete control over narratives, endorsements, and public image. And that's what scares American executives the most, because even if the WNBA survives financially, it could lose its identity. The commissioner's nightmare isn't just losing players, it's losing the meaning of the league itself. And behind the curtain that's already starting, every new headline about offers, every rumor of private meetings, every leaked negotiation adds to the pressure. And Engelbert's phrase, "no more WNBA," starts to sound prophetic, not because the league will vanish tomorrow, but because the version fans grew up with might already be gone. So here we are standing at the edge of what could be the biggest turning point in women's basketball history. A future where the WNBA as we know it may not survive, but something new might rise from its ashes. The commissioner's warning wasn't just about a league collapsing, it was about control, slipping away from American hands and into global ones. Because while the WNBA built the stage, the Saudis are now buying the spotlight for the players. This moment is terrifying but also liberating for years. They begged for change, and now change is kicking down the door. Whether the league likes it or not, some stars will stay loyal, fighting to protect the legacy they built, while others will chase the chance to secure their futures. The fans will divide, sponsors will choose sides, and within a year, we'll either see the WNBA reborn stronger than ever, or replaced entirely by a new empire of global basketball ruled by money, not passion. The truth is, the phrase, "no more WNBA," doesn't necessarily mean the end. It might just mean the end of control, because players are no longer waiting for permission to be valued, they're taking it for themselves. The Saudis saw an opening and they moved faster than anyone expected, and now the ball is in the league's court. If Engelbert and her team don't act soon, there won't be any league left to save. And the next generation of fans might not even remember a time when women's basketball was purely American. So when you hear that phrase echo across social media, "no more WNBA," don't just hear defeat, hear transformation. Because this isn't just the fall of a league, it's the rise of a new era. And the question now is simple: who will own the future of the game, the league, or the ones who built it with their own hands?